Welcome back, Throne Room.
What's up, man?
I definitely should have checked on what episode number this is, so just use your imagination, everybody. I have no clue what number episode this is.
Whatever your favorite number is.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah.
Good way to think about it. So it's like your favorite number episode. This is going to be your favorite episode.
Absolutely.
The legendary Lordolo. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. I like being outside, so I feel a part of it all.
Definitely. I was stoked we were able to make this work outside. I think it's a good location. So I'm absorbing the nature energy, if you will, just from being out here. So
you got to accept what it is.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit of a crazy interview last time. Nothing kind of really panned out.
Yeah.
But interesting that I'm going to kick off this question here, and then we'll kind of get into rehashing a little bit from the last time.
Okay.
Last time we were masked up full Lordolo gear.
Yes, sir.
This time we're not. What changed? What's special or different about this time or the other time?
To be honest, preparation being the absolute honest answer. Like I said, what I had for breakfast was a call for matahachi. So when I woke up, I didn't even have time to even process what was going on. It was more like hop up because you stayed up till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, that was way later than me.
Yeah,
I was only
yeah.
up till like right around 2:30.
Nah, I wish I would have fell asleep at 2 because I would have been perked up. But just preparation, and he sleep. So
yeah.
I'm cool. I'm probably gonna be chilling all day, not doing anything too much of nothing unless I start fucking around on making music or something. But that's the only thing I would say is different. Just preparation, you know. Sometimes when one party's away, the other party gets the party.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how it is.
Totally feel it. Yeah. So I guess it's a good answer. So
yeah.
I guess we will still kind of dive in a little bit, just so for everybody else at home. I got kind of a nice in-depth look into Lordolo and you as a person.
Yes, sir.
Can we, I guess, rediscuss a little bit about how
Absolutely.
you discovered Lordolo, about yourself, like a little bit more of the Lordolo origin story?
Yeah, so like when I was in high school, I was really, my whole life I've always really been into the occult and esoteric side of, I guess, I would like to say human development, because it's played such a vital part in our development.
Yeah.
And being attracted to that kind of stuff on surface level because of how it's looked at, you'll always find all the shit that's wrong first.
Right.
And so as a kid, also being an edgelord like every other teenage boy, I really got really into cults, right? But not in the sense of like, oh, people killing it, because I never understood that. Like, you used all of your power to get all these people together for them to drink like cyanide. That's weird.
Or so you could fuck a bunch of like 14-year-olds or something.
Yeah,
some weird shit.
And I'd just be like, bro, it's just better ways to use people. Like,
bro, it's just better ways.
I just don't understand it. So like, I was always interested like in the fact that these people were able to amass this amount of currency, and by that I mean, and shout out to my homie Koopa for enlightening me on this information. But once you're aware that charisma is the original currency, because that's the only thing that can actually give you any type of value, is how many people can you get in a room and get them to agree on one ideal to be like, all right, well, this is what we're working towards.
Right.
Because the first people who built civilizations didn't get paid for it. Always remember that.
Yeah.
Nobody got paid to be a pioneer.
And no one did it themselves either. They had to get other people to help.
You had to be a part of somebody else's plan, or a part of somebody's ideal. And so I was always interested in that part of cults and how it brought people together. Whether like let's put it out on the line. If you have a religion, you are in a cult. Period.
Heard that, everybody?
That is what it is. People think about the word cult as evil, but you learn how to speak fucking English for once in your life, and it's the root word of what? Culture. Cultivate. Cult is where people come together to build outwardly using inward development. You use all the resources y'all have as a unit. You have 9 people, but out of those 9 people, you got 3 software engineers, a graphic developer, a graphic designer, I said developer, and somebody else who's just good with technology. You don't just have 9 people. You have a small indie development team right now. And when you get them together to work, you didn't have to go out and outsource and pay this person, you know what I mean? So I was always just into the idea of using people as actual currency other than paying people to do what you were gonna do fucking anyway.
Yeah.
The money is not what convinced you. Purpose is. And because I didn't give you a purpose and you're convinced to believe that money gives you purpose, you did that. I don't have to tell you how beneficial it's going to be for our community to build, you know, for sake of this example, a pyramid.
Right.
I convinced you of why it was important and you believe through, you know what, this is worth it. So I'm going to dedicate my 12 hours of, you know, time that I owe the king. I'm going to dedicate that with pride, you know, because I believe in what we're building towards.
Yeah.
And Lordolo was just a character who came at the expense of, if I was to be a cult leader, would I want people to know it's me because they wouldn't receive me the same? Or do you want them to know it's you and, you know, you just want to be, perceived a certain way? And so Lordolo came as the name is actually an acronym. And I always told myself, once I get a bigger audience, or not a bigger audience as far as following, but like the ability to speak in front of more people at once.
More people like listen, will receive it. Yeah.
I would give out the acronym. But that whole idea of following cults and the information and the history of certain people, ideas, and is powerful. And people just dismiss it. Oh, he's a bad person. He's a bad person. He did this. Yeah, some of these people never did anything. Their followers did. And that's where you have to give them the credit for their power.
Yeah.
Because they use no money. Nobody paid these people to do anything like your average corporate Joe who will, you know, pay you to do your fucking job and then on the weekend invite you for coffee to fire you. You feel me? That's not necessary. Everybody here is a part of the body.
Yeah.
So much so that the body don't even look like a human body no more. It's just a body.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that I've always just been passionate about that. Like, how can you be passionate about a religion and I can't be passionate about cults? You know? It's all just a place where people build something they believe in using their inward resources. So that's where Lordolo came from. A teenage boy who was on the road to becoming a cult leader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That whole persona, that whole, you know, package is what pretty much made him. His outfit didn't look like it did now. Mask didn't look like it did now. He grew just as much as I did. So there's a lot of, he's done it though. Because he's got me to follow him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, even if nobody follows him, it's one person that follows him, and we're fine with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what, I guess, two questions. One, kind of to piggyback a little bit onto what we were talking about the cults and how we got, the people don't do things, the leader doesn't do things, they make the other people do things. Because I have always been kind of that weird person that people talk about Charles Manson, and I'm like, why is this dude in prison? Why are they saying he did all this stuff? He didn't do anything. I almost respect and revere the idea that, like, this dude is such a mastermind that he got other people to do everything. He's chilling. He didn't do anything, didn't dirty his hands at all. How you got to respect that. Like, you can't hate on this dude and think he's a bad person. Like, it's
funny you mentioned him because that's exactly who I was thinking about.
Yeah,
because
through love and happiness and like, dude, man, like it's so wild the more you look into him.
People will off him. Oh, he had a Nazi symbol on his head, dude. Okay.
If you look at what the symbol actually meant, like
it means power, and you don't know where he got it from.
Yeah.
You don't know if maybe he put it on his head and then maybe he did it for protection in jail.
Yeah.
We don't know what he did. Maybe he just wanted to spread his influence. Sometimes if you, as a person of power, if you have the ability to assimilate an entire group of people into your belief, you do that.
Yeah.
Just like if a businessman has the opportunity to make $1 million extra, he's gonna fucking do that.
Exactly, yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Charles Manson didn't do anything. At the end of the day, he shouldn't have been in jail. He got imprisoned for the same reason why black people get wrongfully imprisoned. It was the image that was with him. Cult. They heard cult, and they wanted to deem him bad. When he spoke, granted, the boy be everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just be like, dude,
everywhere.
He wild. And I'm not gonna lie, he's had some of my favorite moments. He's funny. Like when the girl asked him, hold on, this shit was funny. She asked him, why do you think you were able to get those people to do what you... And he got up and started doing all this moving, and he was like, it's because everything I do It's brand new. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you the first person that's openly in jail, prison, and you didn't do it. And we all know you didn't.
Yeah.
They want you because they have nobody else. How is it the girls that did it? How the fuck they out?
Yeah.
Testifying, I don't know what I was doing. This is the nation we live in.
I'm over 18 and I'm a complete adult and who pays bills and who's done all this stuff.
It's
and
like,
I didn't know I was murdering this person.
I was under the influence of, wait.
Of a person.
It's just like and I hate to get off topic, but it's just like the bullshit of today when he used this power and it's like, you're grown? And I don't even want to hear you grown. We are not going to sit here and act like these kids, if you old enough to perceive what goes on the internet and you can understand sex jokes and this, that, and the third, you know when a motherfucker's manipulating.
Be careful
you.
with pounding the table just so we don't have...
Oh yeah, my bad. Windiest episode on ever. But like...
Pound that like button.
Yeah, pound that shit,
like,
you feel me? But just like... Hold on, what was I talking about?
About... Everything he do is brand new. How can we hold people accountable, even though they're a grown-ass adult?
And see, my thing is like, okay, so when people are younger, right? Mm-hmm. I hate that power dynamic bullshit because you're blaming the wrong people. You're taking accountability off the people who get the opportunity to learn a life lesson.
Yeah.
Just because so what? So what's it gonna be next time you fuck up?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just stupid. You gotta forgive him. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like Rome said, and I hate Rome. He who be deceived, let him. That's not my fault. You stupid, that has nothing to do with me. Why do you think they run the world the way they do? You're dumb. I don't have to tell you. You didn't want to pick up a book and learn? How the fuck do you get in trouble for some shit that they did? What did you tell them to write those messages? Even if I did, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
If I tell a motherfucker to jump off the bridge, and this motherfucker jump off the bridge, you killed them. That's homicide.
Yeah. So the oldest example in the book that your parents always say, if everyone jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? As a silly over-dramatization.
How many people who work in law have ever heard that growing up? Because they need to apply that to law.
Yeah.
You can't be, we understand, and kids, I mean like 13 and under.
Yeah.
15 and up, you too old.
Yeah.
You understand. I'm not gonna sit here and let you lie to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Certain shit, I hate that power dynamic shit because what Charles Manson did, he proved power, and that's what they didn't want out. Mm-hmm. He wanted a race war. Hey, I'm not saying he did or didn't. I'm gonna tell you what he wanted originally, and because I can't speak towards no race war, there was a race war going on before that.
Yeah.
So what the fuck would he have been doing other than continuing some shit that was stop playing, man. Don't act like America is not where they made Birth of a Nation. Stop playing.
Yeah.
But with him, Charles Manson he didn't do anything to me. You can't be mad because this man is powerful and had influence.
Yeah.
They were scared that he would be able to say something to get people to, he got these bitches shaved their head off. He had these bitches crawling on the goddamn floor. He had power. That's all he was. Man, you got bitches coming to jail trying to marry you.
Yeah.
The fuck? But people ain't gonna sit there and acknowledge their power, just like another individual in history. Because all they want to talk about is, but he killed all these people. It's like, yeah, but they did it absolutely for free. No one got paid to do it, and that's what you're forgetting. The people who hate you now get paid to hate you. Get paid to institutionalize rules and shit against you.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers did it off belief.
Right.
You have to respect what he put out there. You don't want to, that's on you.
Exactly.
But the honest to God truth is man, my power is out there. You wanna know how I know? 20 years, 80% of you motherfuckers won't have a conversation to whisper about me.
Yep.
They gonna talk about me to the end of time.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter how you look at it, period. People don't look at it like that. They don't. They look at, I heard this word triggered all this emotion in me. Yeah. I'm triggered. You said this word and now I'm offended.
Yeah.
When you think like that, we don't get anywhere. And that's where that whole cult thing, that's where I got that from. I always knew charisma is something I've always had. I choose not to use it because I don't choose to give everybody my energy. And I choose not to take advantage of people.
Yeah.
I always have the reason I over-explain myself when I talk to people is because I need them to know. I know when I talk, sometimes I'm like, it sounds like, this is trying to get me.
Yeah. And
so I have to be like, let me tone down or at least explain so that you don't feel like, this man's trying to talk me out my fucking clothes. Like, you feel me? So, yeah, man. I feel like charisma is so powerful that when people realize you have it, they're just going to deem you a villain. Mm-hmm. They only like you when you playing nice, when you're their type of puppet, when you have their charisma. Yeah. When you can get people to, let's be American, go vote. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Let's do this. Everybody petition that. When you can get people to put their charisma towards that, then you're doing the right thing. But when you get a million people to do what the fuck you wanted them to do, now it's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Yeah. Well, you have somebody across the table from me who definitely on your side, because I have not met anybody else who is, I won't say pro Charles Manson, but who views it the same way. They're like, oh, but he did exactly what you're saying.
If a person was to get upset at me, I'd be like, you have to show me what he did, and then you have to sit there and explain to me how two grown individuals.
Yeah.
Because if you watch those interviews, those women were wild. That bitch was like, we're trained to do this, and the one time we saw him, he looked like Jesus Christ, and that's where her mind state was then. Okay? So you can't be mad that he convinced her to do whatever the fuck he got her to do.
Yeah.
He only had, it was, the family was how big, bro? His little cult was, and look what they did. You had 3 crazy ass bitches went and tatted your name in history. There is more power to that than you'll ever realize, because people don't understand. People think money is power, and it's not.
Yeah.
Money's the illusion of power.
Yeah.
You didn't discuss anything with anybody. You paid them to do something. They did it for the money. There was no power in that.
Yeah.
There was incentive. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Power is when you want to generate something, like a light switch. You flick it on and it happens.
Yeah.
Money never has to happen. Think about it.
Absolutely.
As the top boss of whatever, I don't have to pay you motherfuckers to do anything. You want to be in my good grace. And you know what kind of power I hold over your life. So when I tell you to do something, you're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. And you can feel it too when you, like, if you've ever spoken to somebody who has like power, and you can you look into them, and you even get near them sometimes. If you ever, I think you said you watch Bleach, right?
No, I didn't really watch a lot of Bleach.
Oh, okay. But so the idea is they have like pressure, and like when people walk into the room, you can feel their pressure. And I always, when I started being around certain people, and after I had watched Bleach, I was like, oh man, like that's some real shit, where I can feel like 10 feet away. I'm like, oh geez, like it sounds weird, but I always say, like, if Brad Pitt like walked in the room, there's something about it where you're like drawn to this, like, I don't know how you manifest it necessarily, or how you achieve it, but
ego is, I feel personally, if you're asking me, I feel like ego has a lot to do with it. Like in Dragon Ball Z, it's all ego. You can't have power you didn't have. You were about to die, eye bloody, arm broke, you twitching and coughing, and then this nigga was like, your mom's a bitch, and you're like, no. Where did that come from? It's all ego. Now, some people's egos get to be confirmed, and so their ego is profound because they truly don't have any other option but to believe it.
Right.
So people with money, it's not that they are more powerful than you, or that it's the belief that you have over them. Because if you looked at them honestly as regular nobodies and as pieces of shit, that's how you feel about them. Why do you think they feel the way they do about poor people? They've convinced themselves that wholeheartedly. They've built their entire lives around, if you can't afford this, why are we natural selection? That's really how they use money, for natural selection. Yeah. And so when you think about it, it's that type of pressure you would feel. Some people are able to manifest that just because their egos are confirmed. Some people have very loose egos, and some people don't care too much. Like, some people are very powerful, and you'll never feel their energy ever. Yeah. It won't happen until some shit go down, and you be like, holy fuck, he orchestrated all of that? Yeah. Or you're the reason that happened, or oh, you're so-and-so? Holy shit, I never knew. Right. So it's all about whose is confirmed and who feels the need to put it out. Because some people stay reserved with their energy, and some people are very dynamic, with their energy. So or even too, because I was I got recently, in the past maybe 5 years, I got big into Napoleon Hill from like Think and Grow Rich and like Outwitting the Devil and stuff like that. And he talks about the release of enthusiasm and charisma, controlling that release of it, and that's the success. Where like I had caught myself as everything to a fault. Sometimes I pour my spirit into everything I do, whether I'm driving or whatever. And then I was like, why am I exhausted like all the time? Because I'm just, there's like a hole in the side of me, and my energy is just blasting out the side. Now that I patch that up, and it's like, oh, I could make that joke right now to make them laugh, but I'll save it for myself, and I'll keep that energy, and I can feel it recycle through my body. And that strategic release, I'm going to pause for the wind. That strategic release of energy, charisma, enthusiasm, and stuff like that is like, once you can master that, then you kind of have more, I don't know, maybe power or intention as you're doing everything. And for me, at least, I was less kind of exhausted. That's a very interesting concept, because it makes me think of why meditation really works. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand how to meditate because, for one, on the extreme end, people are expecting at some point to just start floating
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Now, it's not
too.
that can't happen.
Yeah.
Please understand, there's a science behind why that has ever even been witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, meditation, though, it's about you can't control your thoughts.
Pause for the wind real quick. On the off chance that this is obliterating everything that we're saying right now, I like to think it's not.
Yeah.
Before you drop some real important stuff.
Nah, I feel you. Like I said, shout out to the windiest interview you ever heard. You
Exactly.
know? We're not even in Chicago, straight to the park. But,
okay, we should be good now.
What was the topic again? I'm a ranter, so I'm always fleeting with my thoughts.
Ranter.
Yeah.
We'll get through this together.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about enthusiasm, strategic release, Napoleon Hill. Meditation. I'm glad you finished the...
I always have to do that. I hate when I forget what I was thinking about. But meditation, what I've learned, how it works is focus on breathing.
Yep.
And people don't understand what that means. Like, I know how to... No. Command yourself to inhale and exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Time yourself. Do whatever it is you need to do with your breaths, but make sure you're doing it intently.
Right.
Because then at that point, you are controlling your body.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, your body pumps its own breath by default. So naturally, like animals, a lot of the times you move on autopilot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because your body naturally does it. So your thoughts are the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Even more fleeting than your breaths. You don't get to control what comes in your head. What you do get to control is how you process it and what you do with that mental imagery or mental thought.
And identify with it too.
Exactly.
A lot of people think this is them, and it's not.
Yeah, like just because, for instance, a person who might have a thought of killing somebody, that doesn't make you a killer.
Right.
Doesn't make you a murderer, and that doesn't mean that you've always wanted to think about. We have brains that can fathom.
Mm-hmm.
That does not have a limit until you're done.
Right.
You have the ability to keep on stretching and making and editing and detailing whatever until you die.
Or until you put your own mental barriers.
Exactly.
I can't do this or this, and then you build your own.
And see, when people, I can't meditate. I tried and it didn't work for me. What were you hoping to get?
Yeah.
There's nothing. Here's the first rule of meditation. There's nothing to gain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything that you had to gain was with you when you sat down and started oming.
Mm-hmm.
There is no real way to, like, there's no correct way. There's no one way to meditate.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we were talking about like controlling your charisma, mastering your power, meditation is really a part of that. Even, what do you think mantras come from? It comes from the discipline.
Mm-hmm.
If you every day said chanted on that 108 beads, like, the Hare Krishna, right?
Yeah.
And some people like, oh man, I can't keep saying this out loud, but after a while, once you start doing it, it becomes part of, you will start feeling that.
Right.
Just like when people be in church, man, I don't know if you've ever been to a black church, bro, but the Holy Ghost is a thing.
Yeah.
And niggas die from that shit, figuratively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
When I seen a lady hit the floor shaking, I was like, bitch, we in church. Y'all said ghosts ain't real. So somebody gonna have to clarify what the fuck. Did you just get positively possessed? Because if that's what God do when you possessed is shake you and drop you on the floor, that nigga's fucked up too.
Dude, it's interesting you brought that up because my church wasn't like a black church, if you will, but mine was very similar to that, where I always talk about, we had a bring your friends night one night, and I brought my friend, and they had this like missionary from Pakistan, and he brought all of us up there in front of the congregation. This is, again, bring your friends night. I don't know why they chose to do bring your friends night. He lined us all up on the stage. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's going down. And I remember I'm at the one end and everyone's down this way. I remember looking at him like, what the fuck is about to happen when he gets to me?
Am I gonna get bopped?
Every single person, boom, boom, boom. They're going down, down, down. He gets to me and I'm bracing myself. He goes, and nothing happens to me. Next to me, boom. I was the only one. I'm standing there like, what the fuck? What is wrong with me? Was I supposed to feel something? Did I mess up? But then I was like, it almost was peer pressure. Where this person went down, I guess I have to go down. I don't want to be me, who's the only person that didn't go down.
Right.
And so I almost think I won't tell it here because it's one of my best stories. I have a speaking in tongues story where I have fake spoken tongues basically because it was the same thing. Everybody, I was the only person up there left who hadn't started speaking in tongues. And when I did that, I was like, this is so strange. I wonder if everyone else is just like, well, I have to do this too. And ironically, I sang the Bleach theme song. I just was like,
hell Hell no.
Luckily, I had been watching that show.
I sang the Bleach theme
and
song.
like, not to spoil, for everyone, who I will later tell the story to, but I'm like, well, I got to do something because they're waiting for me to speak in tongues, or they're waiting for me to hit the floor. So I got to do something. So I faked it, and there's this piece of me that's like, they're faking it because they don't want to be the person that didn't go down.
I love the fact that you said that you faked it and you questioned if everyone else went through the same thought process, because what I personally believe is no. Just like you ask somebody, what the fuck made you do such and such and such, and they're like, I don't know. I believe the reason why religion works on the mass of people is because most people just don't know.
Ooh,
they
that's
just don't
concept.
know. And so when they're put against with like, don't you want to go to heaven or whatever the fuck, when you get scared into believing something, it's hard to be unscared.
Yeah.
Because fears are almost permanent until you fight them. That's why you have to face your fears, because if you don't, they become permanent in your life.
And they become those mental barriers that like you can't live. You have to live in this little box that you put yourself in.
Man, and when you said that you didn't feel anything, that was like the same time when I got baptized and I went under the water and I came up. I had to convince myself that I was a changed Christian.
Dude.
I had to convince myself that I was different and that I was new.
Yeah.
I had to convince myself, and then I gave up.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm about to go steal these Pokemon cards, because if God gave a fuck, he would give me Pokemon cards. It's not about granting my wish.
Yeah.
It's the fact that all these other people get them and I don't.
Give me that hollow Charizard.
Like I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, I don't really think I can do this. I was like, I'm tired of every time I get in trouble, I feel like I have to go and pray to God or go to church on Sunday. I was like, fuck this, bro. It's people that rob banks and have gotten away with it. It's people that kill people and get away with it.
Yeah.
And don't nothing happen to them because you only as guilty as you are caught.
Right.
Don't nobody catch you, you ain't did shit.
Plus, God, and I always say this to like Christian people, is that God loves those people.
Yeah.
He loves you.
Yeah.
He loves the person that went out and killed everybody. Guess what? God loves them. God made that person.
And you taught that. So how the fuck do you judge somebody, alone, off of all the shit that they try to crucify people for?
They're the least loving people, I feel like. They're most judgmental, least loving. I'm like, are you missing it?
Because the religion builds them up to believe that they are personally chosen by God, even though their religion also tells them that there's only Jesus being perfect.
Yeah.
But they all somehow believe that I'm a soldier of God. And don't get me wrong, gospel music go hard, but the intent behind it is just so flimsy. It's just like, it's so sad to listen to a bunch of people listen to this fucking Roman character who's no more than a Greek mythology character, except he didn't come with all these fucking Dragon Ball Z powers.
Yeah.
Like, it's the problem I have with the story of Jesus is just that nothing plays out that perfect. And if we had this many chosen people, trust me, our world will go under drastic fucking changes, way more frequent than not.
Yeah.
There's no way God will let this whole generation usher in all this technology that separates people, dismembers their consciousness from their bodies, has people at odds. I mean, think about it, bro. Just look at people's mind state. For instance, when apocalyptic movies happen, what's the first thing they portray? That everyone's going to start eating each other.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Right.
Because what I've noticed is when people need help, like when we got flooded in Akron a couple years ago, it was people out there swimming in the water to go catch people.
Absolutely.
So you ask me, what do people, especially poor people, do when times get hard? I feel like we come together first.
For sure.
I don't feel like we start eating each other.
Unless they tell you, hey, you should start eating each other.
That's the problem with the movies.
Yep.
That's the problem I have with shit like that. And that's what Christianity does.
Yeah.
It pushes people into believing like, oh, we are this. And if you have Jesus as your friend, we all have a common... No, we don't have nothing in common, because the only things connecting us is our ignorance. Mm-hmm. You desperately looking for something to cling on to. And so you chose that because somebody's... Hell. Hell is the best selling point.
That big all hell is real sign in Ohio.
Yeah.
Famous.
Because people love life.
Yeah.
Some people... Security is a lucrative business because people love their life.
Mm-hmm. Or their information, or their, whatever.
You can't take none of it with you when you die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you scare people with death. You use death against a lot of people. A lot of people are scared of the dark. That's why people are... That's the natural reason why people are afraid of dying. Mm-hmm. They know it's dark.
Yeah.
If they don't know anything, they know it's dark.
Yeah.
Even if you ask a kid, play dead. You ever seen that? How does a 4-year-old process death? And you're like, bow, and they act dead. And you're like, you've never seen a dead body nor an instance where someone was dead. How the fuck do you know how death looks?
Right. Ooh, that's interesting. Now that you said that, I don't think I've ever experienced like somebody who doesn't know about death and then ask them to portray that. That's a really...
You see what I'm saying? And if you ask a kid, like when my baby was 2, 3, and you push, why did you know that was death?
Yeah.
That's really crazy when you think about it. So that goes to show you use a natural, humans especially, animals ain't scared to die. They do this shit. They do this shit.
Yeah.
This is what they fucking do.
Yeah.
Humans are afraid of life because we get to see everything. We get to look at trees and be like, oh, look at the pattern. Oh, that's a beautiful woman. Oh, look at these trees. Oh, look at outside. We get to appreciate everything that happens around us.
Yeah.
So we can't imagine not being able to appreciate it. You feel me? And so you just use that against people. Christianity weaponizes the good of people against themselves. It takes the good that's in people naturally and it weaponizes it. Aren't you good? Well, Jesus was the best.
Yeah.
So you should follow him.
Right.
And if you're really good, you'll do everything he told you to do. And when you look at it, it's just like, damn. So at what point does being an individual matter, right? When you want my individual devotion, right? But you don't want the winds. Again, I hope that it's just not at all being picked up by them. Right. Shout out to the winds. Shout out to the winds. Like, take a shot, hit the blunt every time the wind goes off. Oh man, yes, we should have started at the beginning. Every time you hear the wind blow,
go backwards for every single time that we've missed for the winds.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
But yeah, oh fuck,
weaponizing individual.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Christianity for me, is that it weaponizes people's individual good. You know, so wrapping all of that back to the whole idea of cults. That is why I made Lordolo, because if you gonna follow anybody because you lost spiritually, at least follow me, because even at the time I was willing to grow. So we wasn't gonna do nothing but grow together, and I still grow spiritually.
Right.
I don't pick a religion because it peaks your growth.
Right.
It immediately plateaus you because you stop at what somebody else said. I don't have time to sit there and listen to another man preach another man's word. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
Right.
What the fuck am I following? And why am I following you talking about it? Why don't you just give me the source directly and let me go handle my fucking business?
And you start looking out instead of in.
Yeah.
To develop that relationship.
Yeah.
And
always.
You know, you're reading this other thing, you're not even feeling, or you're not paying attention to this.
Yeah, you're not.
There's
no self-awareness because you paying attention to everybody else, because now since your practice preaches what it preaches, you playing God.
Right.
See, in spirituality, it's normal for you to start acting like the person you praise. Right? Right? So when you look inward to yourself, who can you act like to people?
Right.
Only yourself. That's why spirituality, the problem with it is it forces you to be you. Religion, you get to throw all of the burdens of being judged improperly, because at the end of the day, I'm a Christian fearing woman, this, that, and the third. And in a perfect world where Christianity was still seen as the top ideal, we'd all be like, yes, okay, and let people go and let them slide with their shit. America is based off of Christian values, and these motherfuckers run up in people's countries, taking shit, beat your ass. People over there posting pictures with the fucking enemy when they shoot them and shit.
Yeah.
You think that's cute, bro? That's the same shit they did slave days. It's not funny to take. I thought y'all was at war. Why is this becoming a game?
Right.
And it's because that's how y'all handling it. This ain't Call of Duty while you over there snapping pictures. What about your homie who just came back with PTSD and can't turn a corner because every time he do, he feel like somebody finna hop out at him? Right. Real shit.
I believe it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any respect for people who choose religion over spirituality, which to me is reflection. Yeah. Look in the mirror and then tell yourself what it is you need from you spiritually. What is it that you want from you?
Yeah. That's a really important question.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it takes practice to even decide and understand what that is. That's like kind of the journey I'm almost on myself too, is like, what do I actually want? You know, if you ask me, you know, I was listening to, I forget what the book was, but some sort of book about, you know.
Hold on, shout out to the wind.
Shout out to the wind.
It's coming. That's a sexy breeze though. So,
dude, it does. Yeah, it feels real nice. All right, we'll wait for the moment of silence.
I'll say, you can feel it. You know when it's too hard because you can feel it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's still going.
Hey, still going?
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me.
Hey, let the wind just take it away.
Yeah. All right, so y'all listening to the wind now. You know, shout out to the wind.
You know what? I'm gonna just use that as a kind of a natural segue to talk some Lordolo
I
stuff.
say the wind said shut up.
You know what? That's true.
The wind said I ain't having. Right, there we go. I said we calm down now.
So let's do it. Let's do a almost wrap this up. Segue it into tying into the, I guess, the music and the expression of Lordolo, because tying in the kind of the origin, the fact that you want to be kind of like a spiritual leader and a guide.
Yeah.
How did music become like the form of expression to get Lordolo out to the world?
Well, the music was before, I guess I was concrete in the idea of being, some type of spiritual guide. It was always my form of expression.
You make music before you became Olo, or found Olo, I guess I should say?
Yeah. Honestly, and I hate to say this because now if anybody ever hears it, they're going to go find all this trash-ass music. But my original name was Phoenix Mostart. That was my original rap name.
That's a cool name.
And that was just a nigga who was like, yeah, I got a microphone and I know how to make beats, so I'm going to start rapping. This was me finally making songs,
right.
And not just rapping stuff in my head and writing lyrics endlessly in a notebook. But
you made beats before, it sounds like?
No. I started making beats before I started, producing entire projects, I'll say.
Okay.
So, like, I started making beats, like, 9th grade. I was,
just
like,
for
14.
fun, or, like...
Well, no. Because I was trying to get into making music.
Okay.
And we had finally got a computer. I had traded my Xbox for a PC.
Dude, what a story, man. That's dope.
And I was like, I finally have a computer. I was like, I know that I can make music with this. I can do it. So I'm looking up on YouTube how to make beats.
Yeah.
And they showed me this thing and it was like $800. I was like, bro, how do niggas even make music? Like, this is expensive.
Yeah.
And then I seen FL Studio. And I was like, free demo. I'm like,
download, yeah.
I opened that bitch and I looked at it. I was like, I bet I don't. This is retarded. And I was like, I don't understand it. Closed it out.
Yeah.
Never opened it back up again. And I was like, how you gonna make beats if you don't learn how to use it?
Yeah.
So then, like, a week or two later, I went and downloaded it again. I looked at it and I was like, I just don't understand how to use it. And then
that's a crossroads, because I've been at that part too, where I'm like, I don't get this, and then
I was scared. I was like, no, this is stupid. So then I think I ended up deleting it again, and then I had a fucking dream. It was like, maybe if you click this and click that, because when coming to use some new programs, if you know the terminology, you can work your way through any interface, as long as you understand the terminology. And I had a dream on just clicking certain words and certain things in the menu for me staring at it. And I woke up and did it, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's back. And I just started going, making beats.
Right.
But the music was always an expression. I can say it changed more towards being Olo's thing. Like, it became his thing when I made my first mixtape. It was like in high school.
Yeah.
Freshman year, Novus. It was called Novus.
That's a cool name for like a first mixtape.
Yeah, it
dope.
means new. So like, it was really dope. That's a big dude. But
could be the same one.
It could have been. He's relentless.
He's like, I gotta get to that dick on that table, man. I gotta find it.
But like, it was I know that lyrically, it probably is an ass meat of a fucking tape.
Yeah.
But instrumentally, because at the time I really prided myself on my sound palette, I should say. And it definitely has some of my favorite works of myself, just because it was still in the beginning stage when I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I probably did it more for fun and less for like to be good or to outdo the grow or something. Right,
like again, when it was Olo's thing originally, it became, because Olo invested so much into the music, I stopped drawing. I was a drawer, sketcher, that's what I did.
Ah, okay.
And the minute I started doing music, I stopped drawing.
Yeah.
Like, even so much to the point, like, where I stopped doing a lot of stuff, honestly. Going outside,
was it like
especially,
a focus of like, you used to do all these things and they all merged into like a laser?
Olo was able to convince me that making music was much more important than anything else that I wanted to do artistically. And to a degree, I believe in that. I believe that, because being able to make music is different than drawing a picture.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and making music is almost like building a house. It's almost like building a structure. Because every time someone perceives this tangible experience, they can only perceive it through its structures. The bass, the way the bass comes in, the timing, when the snare comes in, and why the hi-hats sound like this, the reason why the sample is only, you know, everything. You have to pay attention to how it's built, because that's what determines its beauty. And I feel like when it comes to rapping, it was a good way for Olo to put information, you know, to talk to people. Because the only problem with a lot of old heads when it comes to them trying to give information in their music, they whack, and they have whack terminology, and they try to force feed it to you like they the only motherfuckers with knowledge, and versus I just know what I'm talking about. Right. And if I don't have a problem with somebody correcting me, or, you know, us talking about it until we see each other's side, because sometimes both people are right. Y'all just see two different sides, and so when y'all describing it to each other, it sounds like y'all debating. Yeah. And music just was Olo's choice, because it was much more, I think it's more weaponizable. You know, I can use it for good and or evil, and I can use it at my discretion. Like, as to where drawings, I mean, art is always going to be, it's only as beautiful as the person who perceives it. But with music, I mean, I don't know, music can always grow on you. Yeah. I feel like it's an easier artistic medium to grow on folks, because at the end of the day, you can only be what you're around, and we're only sound and vibration. So when you get music that you're around all the time, you end up absolving yourself in it or becoming part of it. And so I think Olo just chose it because it made more sense. I can bring more people in with music. We can make songs together. I'm not about to sit there and sketch with another person. Like, two hands on the same piece of paper? Yeah. That's ridiculous. Now, you know, people do color inking and stuff like that, so it's not like it can't be done. Right. But as far as music goes, we can be there all together and put our shit in at once. Right. Our energy can be dynamically random, or it can be completely calculated. Right. But all at once. And it's prettier to me. I enjoy making music more than I do drawing, unfortunately. Because drawing is really cool, but something about music, bro, is just... It's so easy to love. Yeah. You know? And it pushes people to grow too, because I know I've listened to some songs, I'm like, that sucks, I hate this. Yeah. I'll hear it again, I'm like you said, it grows on me, and then now I've grown as a person, or me liking a certain artist, maybe they've grown as a person, something in their music that they say, I'm like, oh man, now I'm elevated because you grew, you took me with you. And I think also, as you were explaining it, I was thinking that, like, why doesn't a picture maybe do that same thing? But if you listen to a song, you are forced to sit there and absorb that art for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. Versus you'd have to sit there and grab that picture and stare at it for 5 minutes and see what you feel differently. But with the music, that's that vibrations, like you're saying, and it, like, I'm forced to hear this for 4 minutes. Maybe I feel differently than I did 4 minutes ago because I wasn't forced to look at that picture. You might do a quick glance. Yeah. And not really spend time with it. Also, I feel like stuff like pictures, even like movies, that experience we endure every day. You may not see everything, but we see stuff. Right. So a picture, a movie is just, in the grand scheme of it, the talent, you know, because we know how hard it is to draw a person's face. Right. You know, detail for detail. So when you see a motherfucker come up and be like, Mona Lisa. Damn, this nigga's spitting. You feel me? It's like, oh, this is fire. But as a song, right? Like you said, you have to sit with it, and it's not... We hear noises every day, but music is unique because it's man's sound. Yeah. It's strictly our thing. Other animals may sing, let off melodic notes, howl even. Yeah. But what time are you going to hear howls go, are you going to hear wolves go, whoo, and then these niggas just melody, harmony with the whole, like the fact that Kanye West used the wolf sample to make that song Wolves. You'll never hear a wolf make that melody. Right. A man took a wolf's voice and made a song from it. Yeah. That's why music isn't, we can use everything. I could burn that picture and take the crumbling sound effect, turn it into a snare. Right. And you'll be like, what is that? This is why this song is powerful. This is the burning of my favorite picture. I had this since I was 10.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Because I'm going off the deep end.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. Your music can push, and when people put instruments with their voice, they put two instruments together that nobody thought could happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like because we see things every day, seeing a picture is just too common for our experience. Music is otherworldly.
It is.
There is math to music, whether you know it or not. Just like your house. There's a math to your house. There's a reason why when the wind blows, it don't just like, fuck it. There's a math to it. And because math is all around us, that's the only thing math is the only language that is universal.
Yeah.
That is, and I mean universal, not global, universal. That's the difference between music. Because like even as I'm thinking about it in my head, all I see is colors, patterns, segments. It's hard to explain. Because the more you sit there and you think about music, it really does not make sense to exist. Especially when you hear songs like Killer Queen, and you hear stuff like Hey Jude, and you hear stuff like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Right.
And you just realize the extent that people go to present you with just, enjoy this.
Yeah.
Not a sound of alert like danger's coming, or your mom calling your name, or there's a fucking predator nearby. This was simply for you to enjoy.
And it's their energy that somehow they've put into like almost a pill. Of like this 3-minute pill, like you were saying, taking the ashes. You could tell the difference if they did or did not use the ashes from their favorite picture or not. There's somehow we can perceive that it's like you can, I don't know, the worst quality song, you can still feel it, versus sometimes it's a good production and it's like,
and that's why
royalty-free music versus an artist.
And that's why people don't understand certain people's views on mainstream music. Your favorite rapper can be the top niggas or whatever, but the problem is, well, everybody got ghostwriters. No, everybody you listen to has ghostwriters.
Yeah.
Black music especially has always been based on what's in here. From African rhythmic drumming all the way to the blues. Yeah. When it was Chuck Berry and older people playing, and you got all these white people sitting there, hey, look at these niggers playing, you know, for real shit. Before they was gonna pick up one and tell Elvis, you're the best. Yeah. You feel me? All our music always came from here. Not our minds, not on, I took 18 years of classical composition. I can play the piano really well. Right. So what? And you playing another nigga's piece. You aren't important. You learned how to copy the... Congratulations.
Yeah, you're skilled, but you're not like a...
You're not. There is nothing to you. And so I always found it fascinating that, like, even with rap is literally taking the English dictionary and being like, we have to find a way to express ourselves through this. Because this ain't our language. Yeah. So when you want to talk about, I hate people like the N-word, people, they take it back. That's not why we claimed the N-word. No one claimed it. Yeah. Nigga, it was instinct. You hear somebody calling you nigga all your life, that's what you're going to say. Yeah. Period, point blank. It has nothing to do with, you're taking it back. No, it's just part of your environment. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so when you hear the music that black people have always made, especially with rap music, it is important that it comes from you and not a group of people like, oh, this is going to be hot. Yeah. You're going to be the coolest guy when this song drops. Right. Remember when you made that one song? You should do this again. And you got like 19 people with writing credits on one song. 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Yeah. And it's like 8 people a part of this song. I only heard one dude. How the fuck did it take so many people to come with a boom, hat, snare, and a... Come on, bruh. Yeah. That is ridiculous. And that's why I hate that music, because you can feel the factory in it. It's the same difference, like, do you like Little Debbie snacks over your mom or your grandma's baked, you know, pastries and stuff? Yeah. Absolutely not. Right. If you had my grandma, different story, but yeah. Right. She wouldn't follow the recipe. She'd be like, oh, it says 2 cups. I used 3. I don't know why it didn't come out right. We're like, I can bake it. I was like, it's probably because you didn't listen. Yeah. But like, you're not gonna sit there and choose artificial over real, you know? At least a real individual wouldn't. Right. It's no different than when people find out, and I'm a very analogous speaker, so that's why I be all over the place.
I am as well. People like make fun of me sometimes.
But like, it's just like how people feel about the whole dating scene with, you know, trans people, and that makes you transphobe if you don't agree to date one. And it's like, no, I found out something and I just don't rock with that.
Yeah.
Once I find out that your music just does not come from you, I don't want to hear. Why am I listening to you?
Right.
Because I could be listening to a person who really does speak their story, their truth. And you out here speaking what writers wrote up for you because you think that I'm like everybody else and I'm here to listen to the 808s and the snares in the car.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something worth me listening. I wanted to remember. I want to be able to quote it in my head, or when I hear it, be like, this motherfucker spitting.
Right.
That's what I want to hear. I want to be able to resonate with the people I listen to. I can't resonate with a grown-ass man reciting what another grown-ass man wrote for him.
Yeah. Plus, you can hear the delivery. You could write the hardest words and give it to two different people, and the delivery by somebody who feels that and the delivery by somebody who doesn't feel that is vastly different.
Anybody can be given a reference track, and
yeah.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No.
No. But thank you, though.
Thank you for asking, my guy. I knew the kids was gonna come at some point.
Yeah.
But you gotta help me.
Okay, so we're talking about the delivery of verses, and one's an artist, one's not.
Because anybody can rap from a reference track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's no different than you just rapping it. Because sometimes you be rapping some motherfuckers' lyrics like they're yours. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel what the fuck they say. Like,
yeah, yeah.
And so, like, you know, I can understand, like, if you actually felt it, but it does matter. For instance, I'm not going to name no names. I don't need to.
Yeah.
But it's a few people where they tell you one story of their life, admitting all these certain truths.
Yeah.
And then the next song, some of the shit they saying, you vividly just told us this, that, and the third happened.
Yeah.
You must have a writer.
Yeah.
And you forgot to replace his details with yours.
Right. Or you did, this would sell, and this is, this sounds good or something like that too.
I'm not impressed with music that sells because a lot of it don't last. Real people, real musicians, like I'm gonna say like this, MF Doom was not a top selling hip hop artist, but he died with one of the most loyal fan bases you'll ever have.
Oh yeah.
The most.
Yeah.
So when you think about it like that, I'd rather be a legend to the people who it matters to, because we don't know. MF Doom could be a fucking icon in the next 100 years. Just the mask alone is notorious.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you think about it like that, I mean, he lives on. There's a lot of these people that's, if they stop dropping music, they would stop being hot. Keep it 100%.
Yeah.
You would stop thinking about them.
Right.
And that's because they don't carry weight. You're just microwave music, bro. Anybody can throw something in the microwave and eat that shit.
Yeah.
But who knows how to cook? A lot of these people don't know how to cook, you know?
Yeah. And I'll go back and listen to certain songs by certain artists, and some people that are like hot, I couldn't name, I'll listen to the song, and I'm like, yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah.
And I'm never drawn to go back to listen to that, and I'll catch myself sometimes listening to the same songs or the same artist.
Yeah.
Even MF Doom will be one of those people. I'll go back and listen to that. I'm probably not going to, I'll admit, I'm probably not going to go back and listen to the new Drake album, like, again. I probably went through it 2-3 times. I was like, all right, whatever. Just, I can talk about it now for the culture, but
yeah, for culture's sake, I'll just say this: me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that though, because damn, that was probably the perfect example. That's exactly what I was thinking about, to be honest. Just
I was a little hesitant to say because I'll probably get some flack for that.
Nah,
but
who gives a fuck, man?
People probably also feel that same way, even though they're the people falling down, getting their hands laid on at church. They're just like, well, I've got to love this too, or else people will hate on me.
And see, that's the beautiful part about music too, because conversations can just connect. It's not like we went around ourselves.
Like, yeah, I get that.
See, the wind know what's up. The wind trying to carry it up to the leaves so they can get that too. But that's the truth, man. And that's real. Because again, that peer pressure, just like being, feeling religious, is how people feel about the artist they like. They feel like, oh, but I like him and this and that third, so I got to ride or die. He's making garbage music. Tell him that so he can make better music. Yeah. Like if your guy's doing such a great job, quit praying. If your life is crumbling, I'm not going to sit there and beg you to make my life. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, please. I'm like, nigga, why you lying? Yeah, period. That's if I truly sat there and believed in God the way they do, I'm gonna talk to this nigga sideways. Why I gotta be poor? Yeah. These motherfuckers touch kids. They got all this money. Yeah. You don't need money. Okay, then tell me that. Right. Tell me to come to this house at $0 and make everything in my life $0. Yeah. You don't give a fuck about me, bro. Just like Michael Jackson said, they don't give a fuck about us. And the same goes for the God they paint for you to worship. Don't nobody give a fuck about us, bro. You just another warm body.
Plus, God's busy being God. He's not being like, oh, I need to give this person that thing that they're asking for. And I always think he knows so much. We cannot fathom what he actually knows.
No, not for sure.
I always say the example of like, you are like a child and you're like, I want to have a cookie. And your parents are like, you know, dinner's in 20 minutes. You can't have the cookie. You're going to be hungry. They say no. And the kid's like, there's no God. God would let me have the cookie. It's like, there's knowledge that God has that we can't even fathom because we're not God.
I like that.
So, you know what I mean?
God over a cookie. That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, because we can't fathom what he actually knows. That I feel like, and you probably can identify, even the fact you sold the Xbox for the PC, like there's some plan, even like how we were saying the wind is like, you know, with us. It's like God knows where you're supposed to be, what you could be. He's going to give you those opportunities. He's going to help. He's going to take that thing away from you that's bad for you that you're doing, so that you can stop doing that thing, so that you can be. Even though you're like, man, I really wish that girl would have like gone out with me or whatever. It's like, no, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to go out with this better one. Had that happened, you know, or even the Final Destination, where they're like, I got off that plane for some reason. There's a reason, man. You're not supposed to die, get killed like a movie, but there's some reason that you missed that flight or you didn't get that thing or whatever it is. Yeah, we'll never know.
Like, and I always felt like that. Like, even if I felt like there wasn't a God, so to say, I always knew that there was like a divine blueprint
or like a higher power.
Yeah. And I say blueprint because the higher power, I mean, nothing gets designed without a plan.
Right.
Even nothing is random. That's not possible. Everything comes from a preceding thought.
Yeah.
Therefore planned. And so I've always felt like even if it's made up on the fly, there's a reason. Like, for instance, I may not get along with my first baby mom so well, but my daughter's here. Right. Now, I'm not trying to speak my daughter into being like some type of prophecy, but even down to her birthday being 5/28, that shit means something to me because I was able to perceive it. I was able to know it. I remember when I first seen her birthday, I was like, something is weird about that number. Yeah. And this is before I was even indulged in that part of information. Yeah. And I was just like, something is weird about that number. And I don't know what it is. And I looked it up one day and I was like, a miracle frequency.
Oh, 528?
Yeah.
Like 528 hertz or whatever?
Yep. Interesting. And it was like, that's interesting because I don't like the person that I had her with at all, and we'll never get along. Yeah. Like, me and her literally can't be in a room together because everything we say starts a fire with the other person.
Oh, man, I got people like that too.
And it's so weird because neither one of us will expect it from each other.
Right.
So it's so random, it's not even worth us dealing with each other. It's really not. Yeah. But the fact that, you know, just like little things like that, I pay attention to stuff like that because if it wasn't anything, I wouldn't have felt anything. I wouldn't have felt compelled to go and look it up. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely believe in a plan. And that's like, again, with the music. I felt like my Xbox for that PC, it was one of those things where it was like, you're not going to know, because we were poor too. You're never going to get this experience unless you let something go. Right. And I wasn't really so attached to the Xbox. It was something I really wanted and finally got. Yeah. But it was worth it because at the end of it, I gave myself a skill that, you know, now it's taken for granted because you can YouTube any skill, but in my time period when I did it, I taught myself how to make music.
You still gotta do it though. Like, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on things that I've never done, and I'm like, I know how to do that. Like, I don't really. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and he'd be like, let me pull the video back up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, every 1 second to like pause it and, you know, trying to mimic that stuff too. And you have to, like you said, you gave yourself the skill. Yeah. You did it.
So I definitely believe in like divine. I hate using the word divine, but that higher power, thus having a higher plan. Yeah. And not necessarily a plan as in control, but just like it's his design. Or it's design. And so it's gonna have a plan for its design, you know? Yeah. If it didn't, we wouldn't have so many fucking details. Exactly. Why is there a tree versus a human versus a grass versus a frog versus a squirrel, and we're all alive? Yeah.
And we all need each other. Every single piece needs something else to, it all feeds this itself.
That there is proof of a plan. Because if there was no plan, it'd just be all blank. That's what I tell people. You don't want perfection. Perfection, there would be no life.
Right. With you can't appreciate perfection or beauty without shit.
You have, that's the best part about being human. Because animals, for all intents and purposes, I personally believe will perceive themselves as being perfect. Yeah. They know what they're built to do. You feel me? Yeah. And that's why they don't go so much out of their means. There's nothing else for them to do other than what they're doing. Versus a human, we get to be like, I don't have shit to do. Yeah. Let me go find something. Do you ever seen a 1-year-old in motion, active? These motherfuckers have no plan, but are completely busy. Yeah. That is insane when you think about it. Just grabbing shit, picking it up. I'm gonna eat it. maybe if I eat it, it'll make a noise. I'm going to clank it against my head. This is how they're perceiving the world.
Right.
This is what this sounds like when I hit my head again. I don't know what kind of information you're trying to gather.
Yeah.
But that's how they're gathering their information.
Right.
Taste it. Well, that's what that is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Probably won't do that again.
Yeah. And so I definitely believe in a higher plan. And I definitely believe that Olo's music, the whole side of that, is part of that plan. Whether it's part of a plan for everybody, I don't know. Maybe I'll get my cool little follow. Like I told my girl, if I had 10 people that dedicatedly would come to this park every day and be like, what music you got for us today? I wouldn't work. I'd probably leave my family and I'd do nothing because that would be my life.
Right.
These people are looking forward to me to give them something that they're not going somewhere else to get.
Right.
I'm sorry. That is what I feel like, and that's all I just want to cultivate.
Yeah.
I want to grow my own thing. I want to have our own drums. I want 100 years like the lordra drum was designed because of this, and this metal alloy was developed. I want to cultivate our own for our own purposes because we need it, and it's only easier because we got all these years of information behind us, knowledge and science and proof, and that's why I feel like Lordolo is a very important entity within my life. You know, and that's why we share the body, we share the same. You know, I let him do what he do, I do what I do, and the only problem I can say is that he gets a lot more time than I do. And as of lately, like even since the last time we spoken, I've had to take a lot of that time back because when he's overdoing it, I don't get to think. And then me not getting time to myself, he gets his time, but I don't get time to myself.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird saying it like that, but that's the truth. That's the reason why I'll get all this time in the day and still be fucking pissed. Like, you didn't give me any time. And it's like, that's because I wasn't using my time.
Yeah.
He was using his time.
Yeah.
You know?
I can definitely relate to that too. I was actually, I was just talking to my therapist on Wednesday or Thursday or something. And I was like, she's like, oh, you know, how's everything going at home? Whatever. It's like, well, now that you mention that, I've been editing, I've been planning out like interviews, I've been like studying, I've been like making just different art stuff, and I was like, I didn't even think about my mom, my mom's like, hey, you should come see grandma soon. Like, I was like, I didn't even realize that I hadn't even put 1 ounce of thought into like myself. It was all creative. I gotta write this. I have like thousands of, I mean not thousands, I have probably like 65 plus notebooks filled of just like ideas, thoughts, like what, all that kind of stuff.
Man,
and if you look
totally
over like, dude, this is boring. I don't want to go on a date. I don't want to like clean the house. Come on, I just want to make shit, dude.
And see, that's where Lordolo is a problem because he's not a good boyfriend. He's not a good companion. He doesn't really. When I'm speaking how I feel and it sounds negative about relationships, that's not me.
Right.
He don't fuck with it.
Right.
He don't care. He does not, and that's when I also realized that he's always been a part of me. I never named him before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All Olo is a person who was always there. He just got a name now, and I'm not afraid. I don't feel like a crazy person when I tell people like, yeah, I share my body with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact. Like I even talk to my girlfriend about it sometimes, just so she's fully aware. Like, it's not no psycho shit. It's just awareness. Yeah. I'm aware. I'm aware that he has his time and he's an asshole. Like, he's very pompous. He has his own agenda. Malik isn't like that. Yeah. He's not. He's a very good person. But Olo, ever since he started making music, has had more control. Yeah. And that's just the honest to God truth. Even, especially in Seattle, there was no Malik. There was only Olo. There was no me. Yeah. Me coming back to Akron was me breathing Malik again, to be honest. Yeah. So, I just don't feel weird releasing that type of information because I think it's important. I love the fact that there are two people because I don't think I'd be able to be a jack of all trades with the ability to master some if it wasn't for that. Right. He cares a lot about creating. A lot, you know. And I can say my job is just I care a lot about him now at this point. You know? So, like, my biggest job is just taking care of him and making sure that he's good because with discipline, it'll be my greatest asset, you know? Absolutely. So, and I'm curious, as you were saying that, I had a thought because you said if you had 10 people that would follow you and you wouldn't do it, would that almost be 100%? You would almost, if possible, you had infinite money, you had all your needs met, you have a home, whatever you need physically. Would Malik or would you be gone and Olo be all of it? And if that's true, are you technically kind of all, like, you've always
you are Olo as opposed to the other. Hopefully some of this question is making sense, but like there's my personal life that I have to do. I have to take care of these things. I've been jerking off this dick on the table forever. I've just realized I've been smacking the sack.
That's funny.
But if everyone was happy, my girl's like, oh, I've spent enough time with him. My grandma's happy. Everybody's happy. I'm not thinking about that ever. It's just creating and enjoying that. Maybe once that's done and I've created everything I could I'm tapped out of breath, maybe then I would crave that stuff back. But do you feel similar where if all your needs were met, Olo, you would only be Olo?
Yeah.
Hopefully that made sense.
No, it would. I'll say it like this. Malik is the survivor. He's the human.
Yeah.
And what are humans best at? I gotta make sure I get to tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
That's our best fucking skill, is making it to tomorrow.
Right,
You feel
okay.
me?
Almost
And
like
so,
the human instinct, like you're saying. Yeah.
And Olo is when people, their higher self, he's always been there. That's where my level of awareness has always been. I just never gave him a name. I chose to give him a name, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people, it didn't take me $1 billion like my idols to learn what I did.
Yeah.
It took them all this money in the world to finally get the lessons, and Olo gave this information to me because I let him use my body. You know what I'm saying? So I thank him. You know what I'm saying? And I know that if I did have everything met, I would completely probably just subject myself to letting him run the show, because at that point I would be at peace. If he's happy, I have no reason to not be happy.
Right.
He puts good energy in me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we have an amazing relationship, because when he's doing well, I'm doing amazing.
Yeah, I feel that too. That's
even when he's just okay, I'm doing great, you know? And so, like, if every day I just had like 10 people just sitting here and just to listen to my music, watch me make music, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because that's what Malik is. He wants to show the art. Look, look what we did. Look.
Yup.
Olo's the creator.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so we would just be in harmony. We would be at peace. It wouldn't be me letting him take over. It would just be, you know, he runs the front of the house, I'm in the back. You know? But the house can't run at all if both ends ain't working. So there's not absent up home, you know. There's nothing gone. It's just I wouldn't have no problem letting that be it. I've always told it's funny you asked that question, because if it was up to me and I didn't let my human prides and responsibilities, you know, dictate my movement, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah. But if that wasn't the case, I would probably be somewhere remote in a very voluptuously, beautifully decorated garment. And I would have people listening to me right now tell them about the growing truth. Yeah. Not a truth, not the truth, but a growing truth. And I feel like that would be, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be a speaker. That's the one talent we both share, is that Olo and me are both fucking speakers. So I would always find some type of profession where I'm doing that. I think the reason why spirituality chose itself is because I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in law. I don't believe in money. I don't believe in popularity, because most people would think, oh, you want to be a cult leader. I don't want the praise. Yeah. I want to know that everybody's thinking the right way. I want to know that everybody's, you know, on the right path. And that's what they said, and all these people got killed. That motherfucker was speaking nonsense from the beginning. Right. That's the difference. The minute you start talking about, I don't think we better than anybody. I don't think I know more than anybody. Yeah. I think I know better. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think I'm better, and I don't think I know more than you. Right. I just know I know better. And so with that being said, if I'm wrong, combat me. Right. That's what these other people are here for. To judge this conversation.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good. You good.
I could see you welcoming somebody correcting you, almost. Yes. Where it's like, if you're wrong, you want somebody to be like, hey, dude, that's actually not right. And you're like, oh, thank you, man. Like, now I'm elevated. And I think a majority of people are the opposite. They don't care if they're wrong. They just want to be, they don't care. If they don't really want the truth, they want what?
They want their truth. Yeah. Because when they accept if you're told you're wrong, people accept wrong as bad, failure, obsolete. That's the problem.
I'm not okay.
It's associative thinking. They don't know how to separate a current description. They don't know how to separate a current description from a character trait. Yeah. So when you're like, bro, You acting real dumb right now. I'm not stupid. I did this and I did that and I did this. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you weren't an idiot until you just said that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying what you just did was dumb. And now you're acting like I've been calling you stupid all week.
Yeah.
Like, when you take offense to a person calling out your flaws, you'll never grow.
Right.
Because every time that hole that you should have been able to check and inspect, so you could be like, maybe I should tape it. Maybe I could paint over. Maybe I could fill it in. You were like, fuck you, no, there's no hole. You're a bitch. And then before you know it, you got a fucked up fence and everybody just sending shit through you. And now you don't have any form of defense. Everything hurts you.
Yep.
Because everybody can get to your side because you're just a bitch and you don't know how to repair yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, man, if it was up to me, I like when people healthily, in a productive way, want to combat ideologies, because if I see your point, I see your point. And all I can do is agree if you're right. If you're wrong, or I feel like, because again, I feel like there's right, wrong, and then sometimes we're both right, sometimes we're both wrong.
Right.
Sometimes you're not wrong at all, you're just not even, this happens to me a lot. Sometimes people don't even be combating what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They get to talking about something else, and I'm just like, well, that's not even what I said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not even arguing my point. Or sometimes people will combat you, agreeing with you, but they want it said a certain way. So, like, no, this is, it's like, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
And you have to just tell them, we're not even arguing, bro.
Yeah.
I have to tell people that,
yeah.
like, I have to tell people that because I know where people fuck up.
Yep.
Again, I didn't say I'm better. I didn't say I think I'm better than you or that I know more than you. I just know better. And sometimes people just don't know when to quit. They don't know when to let up. Bro, your ego's not going anywhere. It'll be there when you get home.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and hold this motherfucker up everywhere you go. If that's not who you are, then that's not who you are. You don't have to sit here and combat me because you feel like you're being attacked. That's why that whole trigger shit, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
So what? Who gives a fuck that you're offended?
Yeah.
I got made fun of for being poor and fat, okay, growing up. You think somebody really gives a fuck because you're being mean to me for this? You're meaning for less. People have gotten killed for less.
Yeah, and you should take that and grow. You should take that, you know, and, oh, you're making fun of me for such and such, so maybe, you know, that's what, I almost think that's what kind of friends are for sometimes, too. They're like, dude, that's a stupid shirt, and you're like, yeah, okay, maybe I shouldn't wear the shirt, or maybe I should, you know,
and here's the thing, well, that's your opinion. Opinions nowadays are masks for stupidity.
Yeah.
People just, well, when I was a kid, I remember being whatever they be talking about, just all kinds of dumb shit. Well, that's my opinion. And it's like, you're choosing to be wrong.
Yeah.
In the name of opinion.
Right.
I don't know what's worse, that or Christianity. Like, you're choosing to be lesser in this situation of information.
Yeah.
You're choosing the not for comfortability. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with it, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what, I guess that's always been my primary mission as a spiritual guide. I check myself. Like I told you before, I talk to myself a lot. And sometimes I'm like, damn, that shit was wrong.
Yeah.
That's why, even over the past couple of weeks, Malik has become a much better person because having to talk to Olo. Like, you be wildin', bro.
Yeah.
You're tripping. You do shit that's like, so what, bro? You're upset, and now we all gotta be upset, and now you're not even upset anymore. But I am.
Yeah.
Think about, like, and I mean that. He was upset. Situation's over, though. He don't have to deal with it now, because he can go back where he came from.
Right.
I physically have to deal with all his bullshit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Call it being an emotional kid. You know, like, filter somebody's, like, that was me. My role as a family, I have a very immature family emotionally, and they would, like, shit on me or whatever, I'm like, fine, I'll do it for you. And I became way more emotionally mature by doing that because I had to filter everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So I definitely can relate. You know, even if Matahachi's doing shit, you know, I gotta like process. He creates a problem, and now I gotta filter that.
And people don't understand. It's like it's not. And again, that's complete self accountability.
Yeah.
Complete self accountability. Thank God for being outside.
Yeah, for sure.
But
So we do got to wrap it up in a little bit. Just gotta get to work. But what can we look forward to, Lordolo, in the future? Whether it's just musically, artistically, whether you are gonna make a drum or something like that. What's
that was a random example. But in the most humble way, I would just say creation. And if you've seen it somewhere else, and I'm showing you, I promise you, I was doing it first.
Yeah.
I've witnessed that a lot in my life. You know, great minds think alike. That's how I chalk it up. You know, but know Olo's very innovative, and he's very out there with how he presents shit. So all I can say is just creation, products from. I'm starting a card game, like you know, like a Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I'm starting my own TCG.
Yeah.
I got a comic book coming out on the way, and it explains Lordolo in his more fictitious realm of the story of Lordra.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely, like I told you earlier, worked on the album.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Card test and everything. So just put my energy out there. Shout out to David. That's my homie. That's the homie that does all my comic books and whatnot. So yeah, just a lot of different artistic fronts, from comic books, music. I have a very rough beginning to an 8-bit video game of Lordra.
Ooh.
So it's literally like in the most rudimentary stage. It ain't even a health bar, no life, no nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a dude running around on a fucked up level because I was like, okay, this is becoming a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just creation, man. Just everything. If you see the mask, you know what's going on. That's the best way I could put it.
Sounds good, man. That's a wrap.